Hey everybody, it's me, Travis. I'm here with Superintendent of Claremore Public Schools, Mr. Bryan Frazier.
Thank you.
Mr. Frazier, thank you for being here today.
Oh, thank you.
We're just going to chat a little bit about the 2019 bond that's coming up March 5th. And Mr. Frazier is limited to certain things he can say or can't say, but I'm not, so there's that. So vote yes. So anyway, we're going to get right into it. So Mr. Frazier, we're going to talk a little bit about what the bond is and
Okay.
what's going to happen with our taxes. Come on, Mr.
Yeah.
Frazier, hit me with the hard stuff.
The number one question everybody's going to want to know is how does it affect my taxes? So the great news is it's tax neutral. So that means there's no new tax increase. This is a maintain of a leverage, a levy that has been 11 years old. So no new taxes. So
Excellent.
there you go.
Okay, so that got that out of the way. So
Yeah, that's a biggie. That's number one.
that's a big deal. So it's been 11 years,
Yes.
and this will be what's the value roughly of this that's coming
The,
with the bond?
the face of the
coming out?
bond is
Mhm.
$41,475,000. This is a big bond.
Okay, and give us just a little taste of what that looks like, what that's going to go towards.
Absolutely. We went through quite a process to come up with the projects, and we've categorized them into 4 categories. Safety and security is one, technology is another, and then we did new buildings and renovations was our 3rd category, and our last category was transportation.
Okay.
So within there's a lot of projects within those 4 categories.
Okay, so let's talk on transportation since that's the last
Okay.
one you mentioned here. Claremore Public Schools bus fleet.
Yes, older,
Older
dated,
than
dated.
average.
The buses, we have 16 buses that run every single day that are route buses. We call those the yellow buses, the yellow dogs. And our bus drivers and our mechanics and our directors and coordinators have done a great job extending the life of those buses. But in reality, we do not have a bus that is under the age of 19 years old. So they're 20, most of them are 20 years old. And so that's a need, obviously, that we have to address immediately. That's one of them.
Now, I know that safety is a priority, obviously, always
Absolutely.
with public schools. My wife's a teacher. I understand how that kind of plays into the daily routine sometimes even. So tell us a little bit about how this bond helps keep our kids safer, if you will.
That's great. Yes, that's number one priority. We know that. We take that very seriously, obviously, but we have to increase the foundation of our security for our sites. And so there was a lot of talk and discussion about tornado shelters and safe rooms, which absolutely is something that's important. But, and that is not going to have to be something that we address immediately because we've got to secure the buildings for our students and our teachers today, every single day. So how we're going to do that is there are the doors, security, it sounds kind of simple, but I mean, the reality, the egress and the ingress doors are critical to us. Who's in our building, who's not in our building? Are they locked? Are they secured? Who gets in, who gets out? It's a sizable amount of money, and sizable amount of investment. Believe it or not, those doors are about $3,000 a piece.
Wow.
So you can imagine,
Yeah.
do the math on that. So also involved with that is going to be our intercom systems, alarm systems, surveillance cameras. CCTV is a huge component of that. And so all those things are part of the security piece that we're looking at for each one of our buildings.
Gotcha. So then obviously, or not obviously, just to point this out to people, what the bond money can go toward also. So
Yeah.
what it can't go toward.
It's a great point. Well, the one thing and the most obvious thing it can't go to is it can't go to teacher salaries.
Right.
And that's usually the question that's always asked. In reality, bond money is really about capital expenditures, capital assets. So basically anything with the life of 5 years or more, we can use it, which would also include even textbooks, and a lot of people don't know that.
Right. Which on that note, so textbooks, obviously not as prevalent of as a device as they used to be. So what is that going to look like for technology?
Yeah, it's a
in
great
the bond?
question because we do get an allotment every single year from the State Department of Education for textbooks, and we'll continue to utilize that. But as we look at the technology component of the bond, we're looking to one-to-one technology. We're looking to even K through 8 to make sure that every student's classroom has classroom devices. So what is that going to look like in relation to textbooks? And it could look a couple of ways, but in reality, the direction I think that everyone is going to be headed eventually is open resource. And so we'll be creating our own textbooks. So the need for those textbooks are going to go down. And so the investment is going to be much less.
Absolutely. So also within this bond, we'll show some of the pretty things now that aren't us. So there's
Yes.
that. We're gonna pan over to some of these renderings of some potential building projects within the bond. So
Exciting.
you can talk to that as we're going through here.
Absolutely.
I know. Let's see. We're looking at West Side on this first one.
West Side is the extension. The first one was the expansion of the library, and when we looked at that, there's a resource room on the back end of the library, and so we decided, it's got some issues with leak and water, and we're going to try to address that. But we've extended that, and I think we're going to be able to increase the amount of space, and also maybe come up with another room, maybe possibly, and we're looking at and talking about maybe a STEM lab for the elementary. So we're excited about that.
Very cool. And then also over there, I know we just panned over, but it's fine. You can stay either way. We've got some renderings of what a cafeteria might look like, and
yeah, that's a concept. These renderings are very conceptual, but the idea behind the cafeteria was that we are very proud of who we are. So we wanted to make that prominent. So Claremore Zebras is something that you see, red and white, the logo on the floor. Again, we want them to be less institutionalized. So as we go to create these new cafeterias for our children, we want it to be a place that's got a feel. And so I think that kind of gives you that idea and that concept. Also, on the wall, there's our GE words that are critically important to us. And so we want that to be forefront as well. So we're excited about that.
Now, some of the things you can't see in these pictures, just kind of talking from different things I've learned about this and what's going on with the inner workings, if you will.
Yes.
And it's not super flashy to say we're going to put a new air conditioner on your house, but
Correct,
everybody wants one. So,
absolutely.
For example, there are some schools that need some updating in that.
Absolutely.
So maintenance, if you will.
We've got, we're blessed that we've got great buildings that are constructed well, but they're aging. So we have to take care of those buildings. Anything that's mechanical is going to break. HVAC systems, roofs that leak, flooring that needs to be replaced, hand washing stations. There's a lot of things that aren't necessarily flashy, but absolute 100% needs. And unfortunately, when times are difficult financially, which they had been in the past, those things get put on hold. So
For sure.
We've got some definite needs that need to be addressed immediately.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we don't want to we don't want to make this too long of a video, but
Okay.
we're going to let everybody out there know.
I can talk.
Obviously, I'm not cutting this off yet, but the vote is on the 5th, so it's coming up right around the corner. And these are some of the reasons that moreClaremore and the city is going to benefit from these things for years to come, not just today. And this will play out over a long term. So
Absolutely.
I know it's been brought up. How long will these projects take?
Right.
And so. When will they start? How long will they take?
So after the bond passes on Tuesday, 90 days from that point, we should have access to some of the bond money. So immediately, we want to try to utilize the schedule that we have. We don't want to lose the summer. So we will try to schedule as many projects as we possibly can. Those items that don't require, or those projects that don't require any type of design, we'll be able to do. For example, the buses. That's a purchase item. So we will immediately begin to line up purchasing of those buses. So we know that we're going to see somewhere between 6 and 8 new yellow dogs in the fleet next year. So that's exciting.
That's awesome. So we'll finish with this because it's kind of the best part, in my opinion. I don't know, it makes my heart happy anyway, which is the STEM building and the Claremore High School entrance. So I'm going to have Mr. Robert here pan back over for us to this picture. But
you bet.
Again, a rendering.
Yes.
Conceptual.
It is.
However, it's beautiful. And
yes.
If it ended up just like it, we'd take it. So
about that. Architects are interesting. And so they told me after they brought the rendering that they felt like I had challenged them. And so I told them that, and I did challenge them, because what I told them was our goal is that we want a structure and we want a lab and we want a facility that's the best in the state. And I want it out of the box. I don't want it to be cookie cutter. I don't want it to be something that looks like another district. So they love that. I mean, that's where they live. Yeah, that's their lane. So they came back and they gave us 3 options, and this is one of those options, and it accomplishes a couple of things. I do think it's futuristic. I think it tells you that something pretty incredible is going on in that building. but I also think it sets the tone for our community and kind of gives us what the future could be and what our students are going to be preparing for.
Absolutely.
So we're excited about that look, and it also gives us a face of the high school, which we don't have. So,
Oh yeah, it's excellent. I love it.
Yes.
I mean, it goes along with how the PAC is kind of set.
yes,
And
absolutely.
The new basketball
It
gym,
fits.
the new basketball gym with no name.
No name,
We're
but-
looking for one.
But we're
soon.
going to work on that. We're going
So-
to have a contest for
It's
that
gonna happen
this year.
So anyway, we just wanted to sit down, Mr. Frazier here, and go right to the source, find out some more about the bond issue. You can find out more, obviously, on moreClaremore.com, and you can follow Claremore Public Schools as well online. We've got plenty of information out there. You can look at all these renderings online. Plus, there's a video that kind of shows all those developments that are happening. So check us out, subscribe to this channel, and if you have any questions, just go ahead and feel free to ask. So
Don't forget you can early vote today.
you can early vote today, and the vote is actually on March 5th. So March 5th, get out there, tell your friends. If you live just outside the district, tell a friend that lives inside the district if you can. So March 5th. Thanks very